Hello, my friend. Welcome to live chat. Hello, hello. Oh my goodness. It is so good to be here with you this morning. I've got my coffee. I put on a little too much shine on my eyes. You know how it goes when you sit down to do your makeup and you fully intend to do like a super relaxed, like chill look. And the next thing you know, you're just covered in glitter. Like that's what happened to me this morning. I was like, oh, I haven't used this product in a while. I think it's pretty subtle. It's shining. We'll talk about it at the midpoint, what I'm wearing on my eyes today and what I'm wearing on my lips. The first time I've ever used this product on my lips. I have some new stuff, like stuff that I haven't really talked about a whole lot that I want to share with you in the midpoint. But before we do have lots of conversation. There's conversation to be had. There's lots going on right now. And I was thinking about all of the things that we could talk about. And I was like, I don't know where I want to focus this. I haven't been feeling great over the past few days. Thankfully, I feel better today, at least right now, than I did yesterday. I got done with the filming because I filmed yesterday. Okay, let me rewind. Got really sick on Friday night. Was going to finish the script Friday night. That didn't happen because I got really sick, went to bed early. Got up on Saturday, felt kind of okay. Finished the script, got ready to film kind of late, and sat down, filmed the whole Jen Gerard, Jaclyn Hill segment. And I felt a whoosh of like heat. Like, I'm feeling feverish. I need water. I'm going to die. I'm going to pass out. Like, this is terrible. So I got water and I finished filming, and then I edited all night. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be okay tomorrow because I've pushed myself so hard, but I feel pretty good as of now. So I'm hoping that I don't get that whoosh of fever again because that was awful. So cross your fingers for me. We're going to make it through live chat. But because of that, my brain was like, I don't know what I want to talk about today. Like, there's just so much happening. So I figured I would let the community decide. The people that are here live in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, you should be seeing them over here if you're watching on the replay. Oh gosh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do all of the things like turning on captions again. You know what? I felt so bad because last time I forgot to turn on captions, somebody said that I had dismissed it like it wasn't important. And it's like, I purposely put on captions every single time because I know how important it is. But sometimes things just like I just forgot. Like, and I do feel bad, but there's nothing I can do about it at this point. I'm so sorry if you rely on captions. That's why I always turn them on, but then I forgot. There it is. Okay, I have to go and do all of the things real quick. Goodness gracious. And then we'll say hello to the collective brain. I'm so sorry it's taking so long. I will fix it. I'm just not 100% today, but we will get there. Okay, just very quickly, let me just say hello to some people. Hi, Natalie. Happy that you're here. Happy that you're able to watch it live. You're here really early. Hi, Teresa and Flory and Steph and Audra, if they were able to make it. Hello, hello. Thank you for moderating. You all are awesome. Hello, Consuelo. So good to see you. Hi, Gabrielle. Good morning in smoky Southern Oregon. Oh no, my kids start school tomorrow and I'm off work. It's going to be a glorious day. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get to do the thing that you love to do. Like the thing that's just for you. For me, it's going to Target. That's like my thing. Even if I don't buy anything, let's be honest, I usually buy something. But for me, it's going to Target. Like that is my happy place. To like just walk the aisles and not worry about anybody else. And just go to the aisles I want to go to. That is my happy place. Hi, Milena from Switzerland. So happy that you're here. Hi, Roya. Good morning. Happy Sunday to you. Happy Sunday, Crystal in Southern California. I'm so happy that you're here. Hi, Kimberly. Happy Sunday and happiest of happy birthdays. Thank you for sharing part of your birthday with us. That's such an honor that you chose to spend part of your birthday with us. Thank you so much. Let me go ahead and fix this, the thing that I didn't fix before chat started. I need to edit the things. Yeah, slow mode, just to make sure. We'll do 30 seconds this time, which means that people that are here live can only comment every 30 seconds, just in case it starts to get a little heated. Helps out the moderators a little bit. And okay, we're good. And I do apologize for those that rely on closed captions. I promise it's important to me. I just forgot and I didn't mean to. And if I did not say good morning to you, good morning to you. Thank you all so much for being here. Angie, thank you for joining. Oh, wait, it says member for 38 months. Usually that doesn't show up. Angie, thank you for being a member for 38 months. Angie's been around for freaking ever. I appreciate you with my entire soul. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay. Sometimes the comments click off and sometimes they don't. Okay, so what's up in makeup today? There we go. Hi, Maja. What's up in makeup today was kind of, it was a lot. It's a lot happening there. I put it up a little bit early, and I think I'm going to start putting it up at 9 because the shows are getting a little bit longer. And just to make sure you guys can get here for a live chat, I usually put up 9:15, but I think I'm going to start putting it at 9. I think that extra 15 minutes is nice to make sure people can like watch it if they want to and then get here. Oh my goodness. Queen from Australia. It's like tomorrow. That's nuts. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you. But yeah, it was really, it was an interesting show because I've wanted to hear Jen Gerard's full story for literal years. It kind of reminds me of when we learned about the hairy lipsticks and we were able to go back in that timeline of what happened in that situation through the court documents, where we were able to find out what was actually happening during that situation when we realized that Morphe was the one that was being billed for Jaclyn's lipsticks, that Jaclyn didn't pay for them, and then also that they never paid the lab for them. So when Jaclyn came back and was like, I'm losing so much money on this, losing profit because they never paid the lab. They lost on the packaging, but they refunded everybody their money. They never paid for the actual lipsticks. They paid for the packaging. So they were out on that. I don't know how much that cost because there's no record of that. So I'm sure they were out some, but it was Morphe that was out, it looks like. I mean, it's possible that Jaclyn paid for the packaging ahead of time. It's definitely possible, especially since it was developed before the lipsticks launched. It is possible Jaclyn paid for them. But yeah, my point is I found that really fascinating to be able to go back in time and revisit that when we didn't know what was happening and kind of fill some of those holes. And I feel like today's What's Up in Makeup and the podcast that Jen Gerard did over on The Sesh really filled a lot of holes for me because I was in the beauty space at that time. I was making videos. I was attending events. I was actually at the event in 2015 that Jaclyn was at and didn't even realize it. Like at the time, I'm sure I knew she was there. I'm sure I knew that all the people were there, but they weren't talking to me. We were not in contact. That was not a thing. And actually, what's funny? It was a party thrown by NYX Cosmetics. And I really think it was Leah Janae that told me about it because I do have a picture of me and Leah at the event at IMATS before that. So it must have been Leah that had told me about that because there's a picture of me and Leah at IMATS and then there's a picture of me and Leah at the party. So I have a feeling it was Leah that told me because Leah's been around forever. If you don't know Leah Janae, she does fantastic reviews. She's been on the platform forever. She's amazing. She's such a sweetheart. She was in Charleston when we went to the Charleston Creators and Friends trip. So John and I snuck into the NYX party. We said that we were invited and we just happened to not be on the list. We totally cheated our way into that party. We were not supposed to be there. Like, we were not supposed to. So, and we couldn't get a goodie bag either. I asked them for a goodie bag and they were like, where's your slip? And I was like, I don't have a slip. And they're like, well, you can't have a goodie bag. I'm like, all right, fine. So I didn't get a goodie bag that day, but I did get to hang out with people. And I will tell you, that was the first time at that NYX party where Jaclyn was and all the drama was going on where they were shunning the other influencer for like talking to people, taking pictures of people and for like leaving their friend behind. It was the first time I ever had macarons. Randomly. They were the freaking best macarons I still have ever had, except for there's a local company that is called Ms. Macarons that sells at our local farmers market. Hers are just as good, if not better. But it's also been since 2015 since I had those macarons, but I was chasing those macarons for years that NYX had at that party. So I was freaking there and had no idea. So it's like, it's so fun to like fill those holes and think about where I was during all of that, you know? Hi, Jen. Jen made it. Jen's an hour earlier in time zone. So I appreciate you being here. Jen says, I can't believe that you were there at that party. I would have rather hugged, hang out with you than you and John. I know, you know, what's so funny is it's like, it's all kind of a blur. Like we were talking, I was talking to Jen. I was like, did this thing happen that year? And Jen's like, no, that happened the year before. Like it's so blurry. But like if you hold on, let me see. I can go back and look at my photos of me. You believe me. John was wearing makeup. This is when John used to occasionally wear makeup. I should go back and show you the picture because John has eyeliner on. My husband has eyeliner on. If you've never seen him like that, you're gonna be like, what? I'll go back and find it because it is a pretty good picture. Let me see. All photos. Where's all photos? Hold on. All photos. Okay. And this would have been the fall. And I will show you the picture of John and I. Okay. So, okay, was this the same event? Because I went to 2 events that year. That was the Ipsy one. So that would have been earlier. Ipsy one's fun too. Okay. It must have been early. Okay. I'll find it. I don't want to sit here and like just look. I want to answer questions and stuff. Yeah. Toll says, he wasn't an interesting person with context to Jaclyn could use. Sorry, Jen. I really wasn't. I was a freaking nobody. Like 2015 Jen was I think I was doing unboxings. I was still teaching full time. Like I was doing What's Up in Makeup. What's Up in Makeup existed, but What's Up in Makeup wasn't like the most popular thing ever. Okay, so I found it. So this is me and John. Hold on, can you see? Look, John has eyeliner on, like legit, at the Knicks party. I mean, what? Isn't that fun? We look like babies. We look like babies. And then this is me. Cassie was not at the Knicks party, but that was us at IMATS. That was when I met Cassie. And then this is do you remember her? Samantha. I'm trying to remember her last name, but she was really big in the space back then. And that's me and Leah at the party. So there isn't a picture of me and Leah at IMATS, but that's us at the party. So I have a feeling I heard about it from Leah. And I had to take a picture of the macarons because they were so good. They were like the best thing ever. It's so funny. And then there's my little, so there was a little pass. Oh, we got pictures. We got a little flip book. Isn't that fun? It was a really fun party. I forgot about the flip book. So anyway, that's a little behind the scenes of that particular party that all of that went down that I've never shared before. So, yeah, Jen, you know what? Jen and I were not connected at all. Jen was so far out of my reach at that point as a brand owner that worked with the big influencers. Like I never would have thought I could have even spoken to Jen at that point. Even if I saw her at the party, I would have been like, that's Jen Gerard. She's way, here. Like I would have been like, I was kind of a nobody. So I know now that I could have talked to her and it would have been fine, but but back then I would have been intimidated. Oh, hi, Audra. So good to see you. Audra says, I'm big in Germany. You are. That's awesome. Yeah, Samantha Riley. Thank you. I couldn't remember her name. She had done that collab with that one makeup brand, and I like fangirled over her so hard because she'd done a collab. And I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. And the Jen's interview was fascinating to me, just because you have a perception of how things were because it's so important when you're talking about real life people, because when we watch movies and television, it's in the same thing. It's on our computers, it's on our phones, it's on our television sets. We're watching movies and TV. And sometimes it's easy for our brains to associate real people that are living, that are on the internet as being on TV, because it's like the same thing. So we think because we see a piece of something that we know the whole story. But we don't, because how could we? Because we weren't there. But it's easy to think that we do know a whole situation and just kind of assume. And the more I'm in this space, the more I realize that I really need to keep that in check, because at the time I really thought I knew everything I needed to know about that situation. And I've apologized to Jen for completely judging her and like completely believing Jaclyn. And, it was, I don't know. It just, it was the time back then. A lot of us believed Jaclyn. We had no reason not to. And we didn't know Jen. So it was like, who do you believe? The person you feel like you know better? Usually, right? So, yeah. Yeah, Karen. Hi, Karen. Did you hear I talked about you in live chat? I mean, I live chat in What's Up in Makeup today about the whole Alice Cooper thing. I talked about you dropping the thing. Anyway, I fell into the trap of listening people say not buy from from Gerard Cosmetics. It took me a while to wise up and not listen. Yes. And yeah, and really it took me meeting Jen for me to realize what a sweet person she was. I still didn't know about what had happened when I met Jen. I didn't know what had happened back then. We kind of had a very surface level conversation about it, but I was bringing my assumptions into that conversation. So it wasn't really like, I still wasn't at a place where I was like, I'm going to go back and buy from Gerard Cosmetics even after I met her, because, well, even the day that I met her, like when I first knew that I was meeting her, if that makes sense, I still had that chip, but then the more I talked to her, I was like, oh, like this isn't the person I thought she was at all, and then now, of course, and then we got to know each other. We became friends over the past couple of years, and I learned more and more. And of course, that chip went away completely. But then hearing that full story, it was like, it went from just removing the chip off my shoulder to just feeling awful about it. You know what I mean? So, and of course, Jen is like, no, don't worry about it. Oh my gosh. Like Jen's super cool about it. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you went back on my old videos and there was things that I said negative. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Wendy, I don't know why Manny would post the video to begin with. And I think it's important to note that Jen never says Manny's name, but I mean, it was Manny's voice on the video. And I think she's just trying not to bring attention to Manny and trying to like send hate to him. That's what I think. I haven't talked to her about it. But I'm saying that it's Manny because I heard his voice and we all knew back then it was Manny, even though Jen hasn't specifically said that. I personally think it was a different time back then, literally nobody had been canceled. Like I can't think of anybody that was like canceled where people like lost business or people lost subscribers because of their behavior. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like a thing. So it was like, when you're just hanging out with friends, having fun, like he probably just wasn't thinking about it and was just like, this is what I do hanging out with my friends. Here's some behind the scenes of what I do hanging out with my friends. And sometimes we watch hate videos and giggle. I don't know. I mean, he went out and he apologized. If you search on the internet, there's Manny's apology on Snapchat is up on YouTube somewhere. If you type it in, you can find it. I haven't showed it because I don't think it's necessarily relevant to like the Jaclyn story. It's a whole nother thing, but he did apologize. So yeah, I mean, that's all I can think of is he just didn't think about it, because we're a lot more aware of things now than we were back then. It was just different. Yeah, this is a whole thing. Julie's talking about how Manny is supporting James Charles. I have not watched full coverage, and I've heard about Manny's. Oh wait, you know what? Because he reviewed the painted line and stuff. Yeah, the James situation, I've avoided talking about like him talking to children and sending inappropriate pictures to children thing for a while because it's triggering, number one. But I understand that perspective. You know what, I'm gonna click off because I feel like I'm not in a headspace to talk about it, and it is a little bit like it's making my heart beat. So I probably should not talk about it today and maybe talk about it another time, because when my heart starts beating, I know that like I'm just not prepared to talk about a topic. So but I will say that the last time I talked to Manny, which was probably 2021, we were very much on good terms. He had been rude to me at one point. that he didn't remember at an event. And I told him about it when he had done his video, like saying he's a changed person after the whole debacle where he was being accused of being a social climber and all of that. He came out and said, you know, if I've ever wronged you, to let me know. So I DM'd him and I was like, hey, you know, we were at an event and you were super rude to me. And I told him what happened. And he was like, oh my gosh. He's like, I'm so sorry. And he apologized. So after that, we were fine. So yeah. Yep. Oh, interesting. Jen, thank you for this. The apology on YouTube has been edited. The full video was very compelling. I did not see the need to bring up names of people because I don't want people to be mean to them. Yeah, that's what I figured happened. That's what I figured happened. So, oh, it's all good, Julie. No worries. No worries. That's okay. Because I like feel like I want to talk about it and then I start talking about it and then I start going, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. I just need to like talk about something else. But that's a big reason why I haven't talked about it. You know, little things, you know how it is when you think about something that happened, when something that happened now makes you think of something that happened a long time ago that really affected you. It's like, okay, back off, you know, probably not a good idea. So, oh, thank you, Jen. I love you so much. You're so honest. I would have been like, oh no, you're good. Yeah, I know. But anyway, yeah. Yeah. See, this is hard too. Queen of the Geek says the problem is where's the line to stop supporting a brand? Sometimes it's easy to decide and sometimes it's not. And I totally agree with you. Because it's like, you know, if they were the ones that crossed the line for me, then yeah, absolutely. I'm not. There's a handful of, you know, brands that like Jaclyn Cosmetics. I'm not going to buy from Jaclyn Cosmetics. I don't have any reason to. I'm not going to buy from the brand, period. I'm not going to buy Painted, period. I'm not going to buy who Audra calls Jalopity Staircase, which makes me giggle every time. I'm not buying from that brand. There are certain brands I'm not buying from, but then how many degrees of separation? So when you have a brand that has crossed a line for you, do you then not buy from or support people that support that brand? Like how far does the ripple go out? And I think that's up to the individual person to decide. So if somebody buys from Jaclyn Cosmetics, even though I'm not buying from Jaclyn Cosmetics, do I then not support them? You know what I'm saying? Where I feel like I would be comfortable. I would feel very comfortable supporting someone who bought Jaclyn Cosmetics. Like, but then is it like with like other brands that cross more severe lines where it comes to criminal activity or, you know, then does that line get crossed there? I mean, it's really hard. It's really hard to decide. And I think that it's very important that people just do what's on their heart and what they feel is right. Be a nice human, you know, and do what's right. So do what you think is right, because to every person, it's going to be something different, and that's okay. We're different for a reason. You know, what's the, see, I was going to mention this book, but I can't remember what it is. So I'm going to change it. What was the book? I read it with Phoenix when Phoenix was little and I can't remember. And there was a movie made where they're bouncing the ball, where all the people in the world are bouncing the ball and they're all doing the same thing. And all the people, like the moms all come out and the kids all go in the house at the same time. I remember that from the movie, but we read the book. It's like a classic book. Thank you, Pretty When You're Drunk, for becoming a member. I appreciate you, and your name is so funny. But yeah, so like that would suck if our lives were always like that. Wrinkle in Time, thank you. Wrinkle in Time, I couldn't think of it. Thank you so much. Y'all are my favorites. I appreciate you. The video podcast where Jen did the interview, the full one is on, it's called The Sesh, SESH. It's Kendall Ray, who I knew from the beauty space. I've been acquaintances with Kendall since she was reviewing Gerard Cosmetics and well, maybe not that long. Probably not that long because she was bigger than my channel. So she was kind of out of reach at that point. But yeah, for many years since she was in the beauty space, I've been following Kendall. And yeah, so yeah, it's called The Sesh. It's her and her cousin Janelle, who is freaking amazing. It's their most recent video. Thank you all for a wrinkle in time. So my point with that is we don't want to all be exactly the same. So if you want to do something that someone else doesn't want to do, like, I feel like we should have the right to do that. And if we want to grow and evolve and change and decide that a choice we made a long time ago to support someone or not support someone was a bad choice, we can do that too. So, you know, like, I get why people, would buy James's line to review it, to give an honest review, because they're curious. There are people that have done that. I haven't seen a lot of reviews for James's line. I'm not going to review it, but I can see, like, years ago, I would say 5 years ago, I would have purchased it to review it, to give you an honest review and tell you what it's like. But now it's like the whole, just putting money, I'm not going to do that, So, yeah, you grow and you change, and then you make different decisions, you evolve. And I think that's what we should be doing as humans, is evolving. Yeah. Asha says, I teach high school, and this drama comes up in the classroom where teenagers are even discussing why or why not they're supporting or not supporting brands. They're quick to say who they support. That is so interesting. Yeah. And I know it comes up with Phoenix too. It's definitely something that that is more in our culture now. Like, I don't remember ever, like, worrying about a brand to support. Like, not until, like, really, like 2016, 2017, maybe, were people even talking like that in my sphere, in my bubble, So yeah, it's definitely a new concept to me. I'm sure that, boycotting's been around since, friggin' consumerism's been around, boycotting's been around. But it's definitely, it's something that I think has become, because we're so much more connected through the internet, and, we see other people being held accountable for certain things, then we want to hold ourselves accountable. We're like, oh, well, that person has a good point. I want to hold myself accountable too, I haven't listened to Mile Higher in a long time. That's Kendall's other podcast with her husband. I only listened to that one time, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know why I stopped. I stopped listening to Mile Higher. I don't know. It's like, you start moving around to other things and you forget, and, Yeah, this has been something that a lot of people have brought up, Pam, that I haven't personally talked about. So Pam says, it bothered me so much that Jaclyn was also lying even about shopping at Ulta when she was on, quote, food stamps. We did talk about the Ulta thing, that she couldn't have shopped at Ulta, and that people will see this as a nitpick. And I kind of see where it is kind of a nitpick. But the thing is she was promoting a product by saying that because the product is sold at Ulta, she told the story that she was on food stamps and she couldn't afford makeup, so she would go upstairs to the Ulta and the mall, and she would, browse, and she couldn't afford anything. But that was the exact same story that she told about Sephora. It turns out it was a Sephora and not an Ulta. Normally it's like semantics. Who cares whether it was an Ulta or a Sephora? But the problem is that she was pushing a product in order to sell that story. She was using, well, let me say that again. She was using the story in order to push product, in order to gain sympathy, right? Which is, that's questionable behavior. And then this is something that, she talks about all the time, and she's talked about it for literal years. For as long as I've been watching Jaclyn, she's been talking about how she used to be on food stamps. And I brought it up, and so many people in my community, and we have no proof as to whether or not Jaclyn was actually on food stamps. Let's be absolutely clear. We do not have proof. But this is the big but, is that there are a lot of people that have been on food stamps, and they know what it takes to be on food stamps, or they didn't qualify for food stamps because you really had to make $0. And the fact that she was working at Mac at the time probably would have disqualified her. The fact that she was married at the time, she had no children, and she had a full-time job working at Mac would disqualify her from having food stamps. That's what the community is telling me. I do not know if that's true. I know nothing about the food stamps program, but this is something she has been claiming for literally, like, as long as I have been watching her, since the Knicks party days, from what I remember. I could be wrong there because my memory is not fabulous, but I've heard her say that food stamp story a lot. So this is the thing, is it's like, when you have someone that lies so much, when something like the food stamp story comes up, like you want to believe that they're telling the truth. At least I do. I always want to believe that someone's telling the truth. But when she's lied about so many things, and she lies about dumb things, like the Ulta being upstairs, like you didn't have to tell that story. Like she filmed that story, she edited that story, and she uploaded it. Like it's one thing if you're on a live stream and you say something off the cuff, and then you realize later, wait, that wasn't quite accurate. I've done that. Like where I'm like, oh, I said that in the live stream. And then I realized later, oh crap, that wasn't exactly how that happened. But she filmed that story about the Ulta being upstairs. She had time to think about it and process and realize that that wasn't an Ulta. And also, how do you forget that that was a Sephora? There's such a big difference between a Sephora and Ulta. And who's ever been to an Ulta in a mall? Ultas aren't even in malls. Like I thought maybe because the Ulta was in the Chicago area, it was in a Chicago suburb. They said about 40 minutes outside of Chicago. That was where Ulta started. So I was like, well, maybe they put it in a mall there. But apparently the only Ulta that is in that area opened in like 2018 or 2019, and it's over a mile away. There's no way she could have walked there on her lunch break. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. But she edited the video and she put it in anyway, which is weird. It's weird behavior. It's just odd. So, yeah. I saw, oh, thank you so much for becoming a member. Oh, 13 months you've been a member. 13 months. That episode of The Sesh was so therapeutic. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, why am I saying thank you? You've been a member for 13 months. Usually these don't pop up. Usually it's just new members. The episode of The Sesh was so therapeutic. It was very interesting. I highly recommend you watch it if you haven't seen it yet. I mean, it's long, but you can legit listen to it. You don't even need to, you can listen to it in the car, put it on before you start driving and then just let it play, or while you're doing laundry or whatever, It's just so weird. Jen says, if someone will lie about things that don't matter, they'll lie about anything. That's what infuriated me to come forward, lying about Kaylin, Ulta, the brand ownership, etc. Yeah, definitely. It's such odd behavior. It's very odd. Am Lanning says, I'm on food stamp. The act of using that as a relatability flex is freaking weird. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, that too, Margot. She made being on food stamps sound shameful. That made me angry, and it's not. In my opinion, it's absolutely not. Like I personally was never on food stamps. My parents were before I was born for a short period of time when they had my brother. But I've never been on, and my parents weren't on when I was little, but we did not have the monies. We rented a teeny tiny little house in a little crappy little neighborhood in Wheaton, Maryland, and Aspen Hill. If you know that area, it is not the nicest place. It's not bad. I mean, there were kids around. It wasn't a bad place to grow up. It really wasn't. There were kids that we could play with, and all my friends lived there. Like it wasn't like a shady neighborhood. Like we didn't have like crime, but it was definitely not a great. Like I drive around there now and it's like, oh my gosh. Like back then I didn't even realize how much money we did not have. I had no idea that we did not have money. Like my high school, I know this is off topic, but my high school, if you had a car, you were like, oh, like you have a car. My friend Nikki had a big, like 1970s like boat of a car. I forget what it was. And my friend Skylar, who was a guy, he had a big boat of a car and we were allowed to leave for lunch. So they were like the most popular people in our grade to like, because they could take us out to lunch because these big, huge cars. I remember like laying across people's laps in these big boat of 1970s cars. Like it wasn't about having, a Mercedes or a BMW or whatever. It was about having a physical car. Like you were so cool. The most popular girl in my school had a Volkswagen Beetle, the newer ones. And I thought that she was like, I'm pretty sure it was a Volkswagen Beetle. I remember right. It was a cute little car, or maybe it was a cabriolet. I think it was a cabriolet. And I thought that she was like, oh, she's so beautiful and she drives a cabriolet. Oh my gosh. Like, so like, if someone's not telling you the truth about things like that, it's like, why would you do that? Like, what? It's weird. Yeah, the makeup nurse says, I wish I could get on food stamps. I lost my job and I can't even get on it. There's no shame when you need help. Oh, 100%. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to read that. I hope things turn around for you soon. That's so hard. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Max says, I don't understand why she has to lie about that. It's easily debunkable and doesn't make her look good. Yeah, absolutely. Marlena says, in person, she never, hi, Marlena. It's good to see you. Hi, friend. In person, she never talked about the food stamp story ever. If that was such a pivotal moment in her life and she talks about so publicly so much, why in person is it never mentioned? And this is the thing. Well, I guess she was talking about it as an adult, but like as children, it's irrelevant because like as children, you don't have control over like how you grow up or whatever. But she was talking about it as an adult. She was on food stamps, which of course you have a little more control, or maybe a little, not really. It just depends on the situation. But when you're born into a family, it's different than when you're an adult. Is kind of what I'm saying. But yeah, that's a really good point that she never talked about the food stamp story in person because it wasn't. It sounds like it appears that the food stamp story is not true based on what people are saying, not based on actual evidence and facts. Yeah, Jen says the same thing. Hey, Marlena, same here, friend. Never came up. She knows she can manipulate her followers and is very proud of that fact. Yeah. Yeah. And if you're tired of talking about Jaclyn, I kind of am too, just so you know. I kind of am too, but it's what's happening right now. And I'm sure we will move on eventually. Like, it's totally cool if you're like, I'm so tired of hearing about this woman. Like, I totally get it. I totally get it. We will be moving on it when there's no more news about it. We will move on, I promise. So yeah, Stacy says, as a Canadian, I've never even seen an Ulta. So if I've been listening to her say she'd been to one, I wouldn't have thought anything of it. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because Ultas are always freestanding. At least every Ulta that I've ever seen, every Ulta that my audience tells me they've ever seen. Maybe when they were like Ulta 3 or whatever, there might have been one in a mall. I don't know. Oh, wow. Okay. So Red Raven says they have an Ulta in their mall. Wow. Okay. Well, it does exist then. You do exist. The M&M's commercial, Santa Claus M&M's commercial just popped into my head. ADHD, it happens. Like, you do exist, but instead it's an Ulta in the mall instead of Santa with the M&M's. And they're saying to each other, M&M's are like, Santa, you exist. And Santa's like, the M&M's exist. I don't know. It's a thing. Sorry. Yeah. KHC says, by the way, it's now called SNAP, not food stamps. Thank you so much for that. You're absolutely right. It is. But I was just using, for me personally, I was using it and saying that because that's the term that she used. So, because it's not a stamp anymore. Like it used to be actual physical stamps she would use. That's why they called it food stamps. But now it's a card, if I understand correctly. I could be wrong. All right. Oh my goodness. We are 37 minutes in and I haven't told you what's on my face. How is this time going by so fast? Oh my gosh. Okay, let me tell you what's on my face today. I have so much to share with you. Okay, so on my face is the Revlon foundation that I forgot to leave out. Whoop. See, I didn't even put like proper pants on today. I'm just wearing my sweats. All right, this foundation is freaking awesome. I love this foundation. This is purchased. This is the Illuminance Revlon Skin Caring Foundation, and this is in the shade 217. But what I've been doing, which I think is making a huge difference. So this was sent, let me just tell you that. Okay, so I tend to buy my foundations too light. It's a thing. I noticed in my older videos that I look really pale and really washed out. So when I got a little bit of sun on my skin from vacation, none of my foundations matched me. Just period. They never really match me anyway. They always are a little bit too pale. So what I started doing was I started mixing it with this. This is a contour product by Hindash that they sent me. This is the shade Carve. So what I do is I mix a little bit of this into this and it makes it the right shade. So I do have a tiny bit of neck face today where it looks slightly darker, but I feel like it makes me just look like I have more color in my skin. Like it looks like a more, no matter what the foundation is, it just looks like a more natural skin color. Where I feel like my foundations in the past, especially if I'm wearing dark makeup, it really makes me look washed out. So I'm going to keep using this. as kind of a mixer in my foundation. It works really, really freaking well. So yeah, I just wanted to pass it on to you because I've been doing it. This is also purchased. This is the shade Summer Abroad from the Khaki and Finding Ferdinand collection. This is the blush. This blush shade I really, really like. I'm going to probably talk about this in Favorites and Fails Countdown, but it's got a very interesting texture. It almost feels wet. It's not like it's not like anything I've really felt before that I can think of, how wet it feels. It doesn't feel like a cream. It feels like almost like water. It's very odd, the texture of it, but it feels good. It's not odd in a bad way. And it goes on extremely sheer, very sheer. Now this shade, I feel like I'm so glad I got this because I got the lighter one, this one right here. This one is specifically, I believe, well, not specifically. Oh, Summer Abroad. They're all called Summer Abroad. This one is called Olay, and this one is called Latte. So Latte is too light for me. Latte is it doesn't show up on me. Look how close it is to my skin. It doesn't show up on me like hardly at all. So if you're my skin tone, you may want to get this one instead. If you were looking at this, the one called Olay, and then there's one that's a little bit brighter and deeper than this. But so far, I like this one. I don't like this one just because it's the wrong shade for me. I may have to pass it on to Phoenix because Phoenix is more pale than me and also really likes the sheer kinds of makeup products, very sheer. So on my lips today, I have on the Unearthly Cosmetics shade Juice that I got in PR in Charleston. And this is the first time I've ever used this and I'm really enjoying it. I think it looks really pretty. It's like a bright Barbie pink, but then when you rub it in, it's not as bold, but it gives a really nice amount of color, like a really nice natural amount of color. And I love the little like aesthetics on the thing, like where it's got the little, like you can sit and play with your lip gloss. My mom had something like this on her purse when I was little, and I used to like play with her keys and like do this. So it's bringing me back. On my eyes today, I am wearing ColourPop's Color Stick. This is PR. This is in, what is this? It's in the bad font. Okay, romance novel. And it just looks like that. Boop, like these. And it's like a gray, so I put that down as my base. And then all over my lid, I have this little Danessa Myricks. This is the Twin Flame shade in Crazy For You. And that's what the shine is all over my eyes. And what I learned about these that I like to do is I like to, instead of applying it directly to the eye, I put a little bit of my fingertip or on a brush, and then I apply it that way. Applying it directly to the eye turns into a huge mess for me. And not knowing Marlena was coming to chat today, I swear I didn't do this on purpose. My lower lash line is my Makeup Geek eyeliner in Midnight, which is no longer available. And I did not do that on purpose, I promise, but this is a freaking fantastic eyeliner. Maybe one day. I don't know. Maybe one day. But this is my Makeup Geek eyeliner. And I've also been playing with this. I'm really enjoying this. This is the Tartelette Tubing Mascara. This is purchased. I think it's a great mascara, honestly. And I like tubing mascaras. I've been very much enjoying it. Here's the wand in case you're curious. Bloop. And if you've never used a tubing mascara, they wash off a little bit differently. They wash off with just warm water. They're really nice and easy to remove, and this is no different. So, yeah. Oh, Cynthia's teaching me something. Cynthia says we can click on something to make this banner. Nice! And make your comments stand out. So if you're a member, that's your bonus of like making your comments stand out. I didn't realize that. You're teaching me all kinds of things, Cynthia. Thank you. I missed so many comments. I'm at like 5 minutes ago, unfortunately. I'm going to scroll all the way down. Yeah, Anissa says, I think Ulta's and malls are a more recent addition. I think they weren't around when Jaclyn attributes to her anecdote. I don't think so either. I do not think so either. It's just weird. It's just weird. Hi, Mel. Mel says, Jaclyn always gave me a vibe of dishonesty. I wasn't a fan from the beginning. I think I started watching Michelle Phan in my YouTube start. Yes. I watched Michelle Phan first, and I watched Jaclyn later. because somebody was like, you're not giving Michelle Phan enough credit for being like the originator. And the thing was, is Michelle put out very different content than Jaclyn did. Michelle was a lot of tutorials and stuff. I don't know if she even ended up reviewing stuff like ever, where Jaclyn did like tutorials and reviews. They were very different in what they put out. Then Michelle started doing all of like the really produced stuff that was really cool. But yeah, I watched a lot of Michelle Phan. I actually, my first YouTube channel, beauty YouTube channel that I ever watched was Marlene Estelle. That was my first beauty YouTube channel that I watched. There were a couple people back then. There was a girl that was named after a MAC lipstick. It started with an R. It was like, I don't know. I don't remember that I watched. Like most of the people are gone now, like way gone. And it's like some of the like time periods are like missing me. Like I get confused what happened, what time. So like when I got into like subscription boxes, 11th Gorgeous, of course, was like huge. Love that. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. Marlena says my skin is glowing. It looks really pretty. Thank you. Paul had a question. Okay, yeah. So Paul says, Marlena, release your brand. Thanks. And Marlena says, it's coming, Paul, early next year. And I'm so excited. I am so excited for it. You know what's so funny, Marlena, is somebody came and yelled at me in my comments. Like, well, I don't know if they yelled at me. Who knows what the tone is, because it's in text. Someone was like, because I said, you know, that there was something else coming. And they were like, we already know about the Makeup Geek Academy. Marlena talked about it on the sesh. Like, you don't know anything. And I was like, you really going to come at me like that? You really think I'm just talking about Makeup Geek Academy? Yes, Marlena talked about Makeup Geek Academy on the sesh, but there is something else. There is something else that Marlena is saying early next year. That was the thing I was talking about. Don't come at me like I don't know what I'm talking about. Like I'm not actually friends with this woman, with that woman. Yeah, the makeup nurse says I miss a lot of the drama too. I didn't get into makeup until 2 years ago when I started my channel. Nice. I'm glad I missed the drama, but sad I missed some of the good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's something to be said for like watching it happen in real time, but you can go back and catch up on it. And it's still, you know, you're still hearing the stories. But it is fun to like, I do like that I, you know, have been on YouTube for so long that I get to speak from like that perspective. But at the same time, it's like, it really isn't a disadvantage, I don't think, to just hear it secondhand. It's still the same single story. I just get amused with myself. So it's more my own amusal with myself than anything. But, you know, just hearing about it secondhand is still, you're still hearing the story. Butterfly Girl says, y'all are so funny. Being black on this app, the only person who was talking about deep dark makeup was Jackie. I watched a lot of Jackie back then, though. But, you know, I understand what you're saying, because there really were not a lot of people. You're 100% right. Jackie was the forefront of all that. There were other people, but they were really hard to find. Really hard to find. Yeah. And they're so hard to find if we're going to be 100%. It's easier now, but I think a lot of the black creators end up dropping off, and Audra and I have talked about this, end up dropping off because they just don't get the views, which is really freaking ridiculous and sad, because the talent is still there. You know, everything is still there. It's very frustrating. Yeah, and Emily Noel, of course, Renee. Hi, Renee. Renee's been around in my community for freaking ever. Hi, Renee. Started watching beauty YouTube with Michelle, Marlena, and Emily Noel. Yep. Yep. Julie says, I was not able to get the Makeup Geek eyeshadow matrix. I wanted it so badly, but it wasn't my budget. Now it's gone. Yeah, it was very expensive because it was so many shadows. And I was very fortunate that I did get it in PR before I'm pretty sure that was before I met Marlena. I can't remember if I met No, I must have just met Marlena at that point, maybe. But she was very kind to send that over to let me play with it. And it was fun to play with. It really was. Maybe somebody will make a dupe one day. That's sad. I know. It's like, when a brand goes out and like their stuff is just gone, it's like, oh my gosh, it's so sad. Like, okay, so this is something that brought me back. I was watching old videos of mine getting ready for just trying to like see like my perspective back then and see if I said anything about this or that or whatever. And there was one tutorial that I did, which please do not go back and watch my old tutorials. Please, please do not. They're so bad. Like, I really thought I knew what I was doing. They're so bad. They're horrible. Anyway, like I'm looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like embarrassing. But I was using the Jesse's Girl liquid eyeliner. Do you guys remember that liquid eyeliner? There was a company called Jesse's Girl. They mostly made nail polish and then they branched out into makeup, and their makeup was actually pretty good. And their eyeliner was so good. So good. And the Jordana mascara, oh my gosh, so good. It's like there were so many things that just they won't come back. It's so sad. Yeah, Ashley says, I've never been huge into makeup guru type content, at least the ones that look completely different. And you can't tell it's the same person when they're done, but I'm simple in my own routine. See, I love a good transformation. I love a good transformation when they put on makeup and it looks very different. Like drag transformations, I freaking love. I love a good drag transformation. I don't know. I just think it's fun. Yeah. Indigo says, yes, I had my channel then for Chocolate Girls. That's when Jackie was Little Pumpkin. Yeah, Little Pumpkin Pie 05. Yep. Uh-huh. And she was so cute. She was like little baby Jackie was so cute. Oh my gosh. I did that one video on Jackie. If you want a summary of, I feel like I did a really good job on this video. I'm just saying I was really proud of it. I used to do like the history of certain YouTube channels, and I did one on Jackie, and you can see her Little Pumpkin Pie 05. Like, she's so cute. So cute. And it kind of shows the evolution of her channel and how she became popular. It's called Why Do People Watch Jackie Ina? I did one on Raw Beauty Christie. I did one on Taylor Wynn. I did one on, I think, Kathleen Lights, maybe? I can't remember. But yeah. They're really cute little series that I made where it's like a voiceover and it shows clips and stuff, and it's got cute little background music. But highly recommend if you want to know the history of Jackie Ina. I feel like I am pray God. So, and then it goes into why I think people watch that person, and then Jackie just dropped off of YouTube for the most part. I mean, I think she still uploads occasionally though. Where was I? Yes, exactly. That's what I think where it came from. Am Landing. I wish I had Jesse's Girl. Yes, and I think that the owner's name was Jesse, and it was a guy. And then his wife was in charge of the makeup, so she was Jesse's Girl. I think, if I'm remembering that story right. I could be wrong there. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. Was like originated from that story, from that song. I mean. Everybody's sharing their favorite Makeup Geek products. Yes, nice. Lana says, I started watching your channel after I saw a collab on Emily Noel's channel. That was really fun. That was really fun. It was great to see Emily outside of the beauty space because we got to go out to dinner the night before. I was staying in a hotel, and we went out to dinner and had a beer together. Like, it was cool. It was really cool. Like, that was surreal. Absolutely surreal. Like, getting to hang out with her in person and film with her was incredible. I will never forget that. I should do more like travel stuff because that was really fun. I really enjoyed that. Michael, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah. Angie says, my first video was watching Mel Thompson. RIP. I miss her. Hey, beauties. I do too. I actually ran across a Mel video the other day and it made me sad. I was like, yeah, she was such a light. She was such a light. Ugh. And I got to meet Kelsey Brianna J, her best friend Kelsey Brianna J in Charleston, and Kelsey and I got along super well. So it was like, Mel picked both of us, so we can't be that bad, right? So that was really cool, even though Kelsey is way, way closer to Mel than I was, knew her for way, way longer. Like, I wouldn't like compare our friendships in that way, but just the fact that Mel thought both of us were pretty cool, like it was cool meeting and just like having that connection through Mel. It was cool. So yeah, I miss her. Hey, beauties. Welcome back. Yeah, Pam says I love watching old beauty YouTube. It's awesome to see the evolution of makeup. Yeah, and like researching for what's been makeup this week, I watched quite a few pieces of old Jaclyn videos and just her makeup style and like the block brows and stuff like that. The evolution of how she did her makeup was really fascinating to watch. How much the trends have changed over the years. Yes, Tati is still, I really enjoy Tati's videos. I stopped watching some of them just because, I'm not really buying a ton. Like, I used to watch her for recommendations on products, and I'm not really buying a lot of products right now. I'm trying to like only buy things for review for the channel. And by the time it hits Tati, it's like, it's already going to be old by the time I get it. So I don't really watch a lot of her reviews anymore, but I did watch the video that she did with her, was it her niece doing her makeup, and it was absolutely freaking adorable. It was really adorable. Tati has always been kind to me. Every time I've met Tati, she's always been very kind and not feeling like I never got the impression she thought she was better than me or that she, was doing me a favor by talking to me. Like she was just talking to me like a regular person. And I just really appreciate that because I will tell you, not every person, all these big beauty gurus, they get it up in their head that their shit don't stink. And, they treat other people. Oh, hi. Oh, it's nice to meet you. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, so good to see you. Okay. Bye. And it's like, okay, that was weird. That was awkward and weird. And it's like funny, like when I've met people at like the market, like sometimes they're like, okay, it was nice to meet you. And they're the ones like backing away because I'm talking too much. Because I'm so excited to meet them and I'm like asking them questions and talking to them. And they're like, all right, well, I didn't expect all that. Okay, bye. And that's them. But Tati was never like that. Tati was always super chill, super cool, never made me feel like I was in any way less than. Um, Hold on. Okay, so I'm trying to find. Okay, because y'all are doing such a great job talking to each other. I'm trying to find something to like bring into the chat. Oh, yeah. Mel says, I watched you, Jen, for so long. I can't remember when I started. I do miss the Periscope chats, though. There was an app called Periscope, and before that, we were on Keek. There was an app called Keek where we would like, that actually that wasn't really like Periscope because it wasn't live, I don't think, but we used to chat. Like it was odd. It was an odd platform. I don't remember like what we used to do on there. But anyway, Periscope was eaten by Twitter. But yeah, I used to like come home from work and cook dinner and turn on my Periscope, and we would all sit and chat while I made dinner, and y'all would help me make dinner, and that's how I learned to make pesto because they were, what was it? There was something wrong with it. Like it tasted terrible. I think because it was made with arugula, and arugula is super bitter, and they helped me fix it. My Periscope people taught me how to put on fake lashes. I used to get ready in the morning on live before I went to work. I would turn on the camera and we would do a live stream before I would go to work in the morning when I was teaching. We used to do a lot of live streams as a community. Now I'm just doing I've just started dipping my toe back into live streaming with the community through the Collective Brain Elite. So we've done now 3 of them. And I want to do at least 1 next month. Hopefully 2 is the goal for next month for live streams with just like a small community. I mean, we're still always going to have this one. This one's never going to be behind a paywall. But yeah, let me scroll down quite a bit because I am still way behind. You all have so much to say. I love it. Okay. Am Landing says, I got into makeup YouTube late and totally missed the beauty apocalypse and was introduced to people like Robert Welsh, Wayne Goss, Robbie Christie, and yourself. Yeah, that's a nice selection of people you've got there. Very nice. Yeah, Mel was so chill. Alice P. Rabbit says, when I first found Mel, I wanted to be her so bad. I think everybody wanted to be Mel. Mel was so chill. She was so chill. If you've never seen Mel Thompson, highly recommend going to go watch her old content. She has so many good, especially if you're looking for tutorials and reviews of products from years ago, but mostly for tutorial, like her tutorial content, because it's going to be relevant, forever. Her tutorial content is so good. It's so good. And she's so pleasant You know, it just gives you that positive vibe. They're all still up. Highly recommend. Yeah, Lana says Tati's unboxing videos with her husband James were my faves. Yeah, those were good. They're funny together, and their editing is so good. Like I don't know if Tati has an editor, but whoever edits Tati's videos deserves a raise. Whether it's Tati herself or whoever like Tati's her videos, the way they're edited, I love it, love it, love it. Um, See, I never really watched Pixie Woo a whole lot. State of Calm says I still always go back to Pixie Woo videos. So nostalgic and yet still accurate in today's time. I miss the regular uploads. See, I need to go back and rewatch some of those because I never really got into them. What? No way. I didn't even know Alexandria Ryan recommended my channel. I found your channel by a YouTube recommendation from Alexandria Ryan's channel. Wow, really? Alexandria. If you don't know Alexandria Ryan, she does a lot of subscription box unboxings, but they're not the boring kind. Like they're like the good kind. Like she's hilarious. She's hilarious. We do FabFitFun videos to get like not together, but there's a very small group of us that do sponsored FabFitFun videos. So it's like I feel like we're a little community, even though we don't really talk. Because there's just so few of us left at this point. But yeah, I love her. I love her channel. She's so funny. So funny. Yeah, no worries, Julie. Julie says, I can't wait till I can be afford to be a member of this channel again. Sai, it's just not something I can afford right now. Oh my gosh, it's no problem. It's no problem. And you can always come to this live chat. Come here. It's totally fine. Come here. Come hang out with us. It's totally fine. All right. I just noticed, unfortunately, we are out of time, which makes me so sad. Yeah, State of Calm says, and Jen, I've been glued to your channel ever since I came across you discussing ingredients way back when. You were one of the only people I trusted still are. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was doing the ingredient thing, like I said in another video recently. I talked about ingredients before talking about ingredients was cool. I was talking about it a long time ago. Long time ago. It was fun though. Because I'm such a nerd. You know, I'm such a nerd. Like Jen was talking about last night. We were talking about spreadsheets. She said she was, you know, she should have created a spreadsheet for something, but then she's just gonna have someone else make the spreadsheet. Like I love spreadsheets. I will make spreadsheets all freaking day. I love spreadsheets. Back in the day, I used to compare eyeshadow formulas where I would put ingredient lists down the side and I would put little X's and stuff when the ingredients like overlapped. And then I would color code it to like, you know, how much they overlapped and all this stuff and put this big matrix of like, and people, I remember I did it for an ABH thing, like comparing the different ABH palettes. And people were like, Jen, that doesn't make any sense at all. And it's like, it makes sense to me because it was so convoluted. And I look back at it now and I'm like, Jen, that makes no sense. Like to somebody outside of my brain, that spreadsheet made no sense. And it took me so long to like organize the ingredients of like formulations of the ABH eyeshadow palettes. I'm a mess. I'm a mess. But it's what makes me different, you know? It's what makes me different. And that's okay. It's okay to be weird. It's okay. It's okay to have quirks. Yeah, Jen says, mad respects, I cannot do spreadsheets. Excel came out when I was like 30. Yeah, like I did the very most basic one though. Like I don't know all the features and how to do the things. I just plug the stuff in. Like I just know how to plug. I don't know how to do like all the math and everything and make the math. I can't do that. All right, I should go. We're 2 minutes over. Thank you, moderators. Thank you for being here. If you were here live and if you're here watching the replay, thank you so much for being here. Next week is going to be a late chat. It is going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern time. I will be at the market in the morning, so we will not have an early chat. We have a few more of our... we're going to have the 5 p.m. chats first Sunday of the month up through December. And then the plan is to stop doing that market in the winter because it is too freaking cold. So we probably will just stick with 10 a.m. chats in 2024, but if you only come to the 5 p.m. ones, if you're watching on the replay, those first Sunday of the month through December. So hopefully I will see you there next week. Thank you so much for being here. Mad love. Have a great week. And this coming Friday should be Favorites and Fails Countdown. Woohoo. Talk to you soon. Mad love. Bye.